this week, presented by Lowe's. For the first time ever, an SEC team comes to Spokane, Washington to play the Gonzaga Bulldogs. The Texas A&M Aggies are in town to take on the number 3 Zags here at the McCarthy Athletic Center in Spokane, Washington. Good evening, everybody. Alongside Karan Butler, I'm Eric Rothman. Happy to be here with you in a great atmosphere and a great crowd already on hand for this SEC West Coast Conference battle. And Karan, number 3 in the nation for the Zags in the preseason rankings. They're 2-0 so far. They bring back a ton of experience and a ton of offensive firepower.
Yeah, they really do. And you always talk about the Zags and how they able to sustain and be successful year after year. It's all about never really rebuilding, just reloading. You got Rumi Hachimura, a guy that you can really build around, feature in so many ways. Josh Perkins, all the guys is going to be a really major.
Savion Flagg, the sophomore for Texas A&M. He had 24 points, 16 rebounds in the season opener against Savannah State. Texas A&M is 1-1. They're coming off a loss by 1 point to UC Irvine. They have not beat a top 5 opponent since 1982. They would like to shock this crowd here on the road against the Zags tonight. It's going to be a very, very tall task for the Gonzaga Bulldogs, who are coming off a win against Texas Southern, where they amassed 104 points in a 104-67 win. Should mention some key injuries as you take a look at the starting lineups. Guys you won't see. Killian Tilly remains out for the Gonzaga Bulldogs with a stress fracture. They expect to get him back close to the start of conference play. And for Texas A&M, it was announced earlier today that Admon Gilder, the 1,000-point career scorer and senior for the Texas A&M Aggies, is out indefinitely with health concerns. He did not travel with the team, so he is obviously not playing tonight, as Zach Norvell hits a corner 3 to start things out for the Zags.
He's a guy that a very, very streaky scorer, and once he gets a rhythm, it's going to be a long night because he builds off that, he finds his confidence in the flow, and I think his guys know that as well.
Here is TJ Starks. And this starting lineup for the Aggies shot extremely poorly from the floor against UC Irvine. They were 4 for 26 from 3. And they were 14 of 49 from the floor. So their starters didn't get it done. A big reason why they fell to the Big West opponent, UC Irvine. They did get some help off the bench by that man. He's starting tonight, Christian Mekawulu, the grad transfer from Tennessee State, the Nigerian, makes his first three-pointer of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be by committee. It's not going to be one person in particular. You're getting sample sizes of different lineups out there for Texas A&M, and they're trying to figure it out on the fly. Got a couple key guys out, like you said, Eric, due to injury, but you got to be ready. Next man up.
Wendell Mitchell is another one who is doubtful for tonight's game. As you take a look at head coach Billy Kennedy, this is a team that went to the Sweet 16 last year, but they have 9 newcomers this year. A whole lot of turnover.
A whole lot of turnover, a whole lot of adjustments, but who else to be the better guy in charge to, kind of manufacture all those adjustments than Billy Kennedy. He understands how to adjust on the fly with the injuries that these guys have sustained, and I think he's doing an excellent job keeping those guys engaged. Lost a tough one to the Anteaters, like you said, just last game, but these guys are out here competing early in this game.
Perkins, little hesitation underneath the hoop, nowhere to go. Good defensive transition by Texas A&M. Brendan Clark, the transfer, out there, gets it inside to Hachimura. They're going to count the basket. How about that? Rui Hachimura.
Look at the move. Look, taking the contact, not even using his agility or anything. That's just a grown man play right there. Jump stop, strong finish, and going to the foul line to get an extra.
West Coast Conference Player of the Week after he had 33 points against Idaho State. Preseason All-West Coast Conference honoree. And a guy who has just continued to develop year after year with the Zags team. Welcome everybody who's joining us on ESPN2 as we make the switch over. We are in Spokane, Washington. The Gonzaga Bulldogs on top of Texas A&M here early. Eric Rothman and Karan Butler with you from the McCarthy Athletic Center, where the Bulldogs have reigned supreme over the years. They are 182-15 at home since 2004. And they have had 17 straight wins against unranked opponents. And Karan, we've already seen early that Gonzaga wants to get the ball inside. They want to utilize the talent of Rui Hachimura, who scored the last basket.
Yeah, and you're getting Norvell Jr. involved relatively early on the perimeter to open up things for the drive, open up that real estate for Rumi, which you saw him going downhill, getting into the paint, jump stop, taking the contact, and finishing strong with the two. And Eric, what was more impressive, going to the foul line, watching his follow through. I see that he's tweaked it since last season, and he's getting a little more arc under the basketball right now, and that's exactly what's needed.
Head fake, Hachimura, nowhere to go. Mekawulu disrupting Clark, the second effort. As you see, Mark Few in his 20th season, and you mentioned off the top, they just continue to reload year after year, keep finding grad transfers, developing young players, keeping them 2, 3, 4 seasons. And that's why he's gone to the NCAA tournament every single year he's been here.
Well, people always wonder what is the carrot, to come to Spokane and play for this great university. And I'll tell you what it is. It's that guy right there, Coach Mark Few. 82% win percentage over his career in the 20 seasons that he's been here. Just amazing to watch, excellence at work. And it's no secret to why he's been successful. Look at the preparation. No matter what the component is out there, or whoever it is that come into this arena, they're going to play 110% fast, full speed ahead.
Savion Flagg got his own rebound, blocked by Corey Kispert. The Aggies will keep possession. Here's Starks up with the left hand. And that's the guy that Coach Few told us before the game, we need to stop TJ Starks.
Yeah, he's a facilitator, but he's also a creator for himself and others. And he's going downhill, he's looking to score, but they have to do it by committee. It's not going to be one guy in particular that's going to lead them in scoring to get them past this Gonzaga team.
Zags now 1 of 3 from three-point range, up 8-6. As Perkins, the strip on Starks, and Starks had to go off his knee and out of bounds. And we talked about Hachimura, you talked about Norvell. These are guys that are returning. How about the newcomer, Brandon Clark? He's turned a lot of heads. He's a grad transfer who comes over from San Jose State. Not a grad transfer, excuse me. A transfer from San Jose State. He was all Mountain West first team, and a guy who is already averaging 17 points and 11 rebounds.
Hey, I'm just going to put this out here. A small little birdie told me, right on cue, as he go up for the strong two, that he's the most athletic player on this team. I know Rumi Hachimura not going to like that, but the fans here in Spokane is loving it. And you see that on demonstration right there with the strong two-hand finish.
A pretty formidable front court, Clark and Hachimura. As a foul on Hachimura. J.J. Chandler was driving into the lane. It's an early 10-6 lead. The transfer, Brandon Clark, rattling the rim.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in today for huge Black Friday savings. And the DQ Hungry Up deal. Strips, fries, and a mini Blizzard treat starting at $4.
You're watching ESPN's Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. It is always a packed house here at the McCarthy Athletic Center. That's Karan Butler. I'm Eric Rothman, an early lead for Gonzaga over Texas A&M. The number 3 team in the nation, Gonzaga Bulldogs, 20 straight seasons under Mark Few to the NCAA tournament. They continue their dominance in the West Coast Conference year after year.
Eric, we talked about it. They just continue to reload, and all the guys stay ready for their moment. We talk about Rumi Hachimura, a guy that's staying ready. You're talking about all these guys just facilitating and playing excellent off of one another. You saw the departures of Jonathan Williams, now with the Los Angeles Lakers, Melson also, but it's next man up. And you see Tilly and all these guys just embracing the change, just embracing the role, and they hitting the ground with just running. And I love what I'm seeing out of these guys.
Tilly currently out, and because of that, Coach Few has had to turn to some newcomers, Filip Petrusev, who we've yet to see in this one, and Brandon Clark. Petrusev checked into the game during the timeout. He's the freshman from Serbia, wearing number 3 for the Bulldogs. He'll be going up against Christian Mekawulu tonight.
Hearing nothing but good things about that kid. Here he's a shot maker, not just a shot taker.
They like how he can stretch the floor. They like his interior defense as he forces the turnover on A&M. And for Texas A&M, we talked about it, but they're coming off a loss to UC Irvine, a ton of turnover. They lost Robert Williams, the two-time SEC Defensive Player of the Year. They lost Tyler Davis, who was a first-team All-SEC. They lost 63% of their scoring from last season. And Coach Kennedy told us before the game, I'm not really sure what kind of team I have quite yet.
Yeah, you don't know because the chemistry isn't there. I think continuity and all those things happen, when you play. Obviously, it happens in training camp and stuff like that, but the guys have not been available, so he's having to adjust on the fly with who's available. And I thought he did an excellent job, not getting the wins, losing to the Anteaters last, but I think he's doing an excellent job just keeping guys engaged.
He's had to deal with those injuries as well. Admont Gilder is out indefinitely with a health issue. Wendell Mitchell, we don't expect to see him in this game, so relying a little bit more on inexperienced front court players as Petrusev loses it off of his foot. That's going to be a big matchup down low, Petrusev and Mekawulu. As Mekawulu got the tip, and then it went off of Petrusev's knee.
Excellent pass right there. Just mishandled the ball.
J.J. Chandler, the left-hand dribble drive, floated one up there. Brandon Clark coming in. A scrum on the floor. Petrusev and Clark disrupting underneath. And possession arrow in favor of Gonzaga.
You gotta love what the Zags do on the offensive end of the floor, scoring over 100 points per game, but also on the defensive end of the floor, protecting the interior, protecting the paint specifically. Look, it was 3 defenders around them right there. One out of the last 7 for the Aggies in the paint. They're doing an excellent job of, just protecting that paint down there.
Brandon Clark comes in from San Jose State. Not only was he first team All-Mountain West, but he was all-defensive team member as well, and he's a superb shot blocker. So him and Petrusev are tough down low. This is another transfer, Gino Crandall, the grad transfer from North Dakota. Petrusev is there, the freshman with the tip-in.
Once again, just staying with it. 3 passes, 4 passes on the perimeter, and then you see guys getting second chance opportunities.
Starks attacking, and he's been the lone Aggie who's been able to get to the rim effectively early.
I love what I'm seeing out of Starks with his aggressiveness. It's going downhill and trying to impose his will on the game. But it can't be a one-pass offense down on that end for the Aggies.
4 points for Starks. He's looking for more. Brandon Clark gets the block. Outlet pass. Perkins up ahead, one-on-one, and he's fouled. Chris Collins, the senior, called for the personal.
Look at this, just doing an excellent job, getting that deflection, getting out. Perkins did an excellent job of just getting it to the body and making sure that he was fouled. And then look, just a reminder, I'm going to help you up also.
You mentioned the athleticism of Clark. I talked about his blocking prowess. They have their annual Midnight Madness event here to kick off the college basketball season as they're going to take a look at this play to make sure there was no flagrant foul. Clark had 4 blocks on Rui Hachimura in that inter-squad scrimmage game in Midnight Madness. And we were talking to the coaching staff. They said that's the worst Rui's looked all year is going up against his own teammate.
It's crazy. Like, it's a different type of athleticism that you see on display when you're watching him. Like, even in warm-ups, when he came to shoot around, he walks like he has strength shoes on at all times. Like, he got that extra bounce to his step. So I love to see him in the open court, and even just around the rim where it's one guy trying to go up at 12 o'clock to try to defend that. Good luck.
Official review on that foul against Chris Collins. We got a note earlier that the replay officials tonight, when they go to the replay monitor, they can only see 1 frame at a time because of a technical glitch. So if there are reviews, they might take a little bit longer than normal.
Say the least. So that you're stuck listening to us a little longer.
So Randy McCall, Eric Curry, Mike Reed are your referees. So just a common foul on Collins. So it'll be Perkins at the free throw line for the Zags. And how about Josh Perkins, the redshirt senior, who you talked about it earlier today. Seems like he's been here forever. he is an institution here with the Zags. But not only is he scoring this year, 13 points per game, but his assists to turnover ratio is pretty impressive. 19 total assists, 2 turnovers in 2 games.
He's been around so long. I said I wanted to walk up to him and say, "How you doing, Mr. Perkins?" That's the type of respect that he deserved. You know, just going to the tournament year after year, and what he brings to this team, the leadership, the poise. I mean, it's like having a coach on the floor right there. He's a real general out there.
Petrosev, the offensive rebound. Kispert was calling for it. Perkins has 1 assist in this game. He's now 2 away for 500 in his career, so we'll keep an eye on that as the game progresses. 13 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in the first. Not a ton of flow on either offensive side of things. As Starks the drive, and TJ Starks, the sophomore from Dallas, lighting it up here early for the Aggies.
So he has no fear. He's going right in there with the trees, taking the contact.
Kispert, the corner 3, and he turns around to take a look at the Aggies bench.
He's been impressive. I think somebody was over there talking to him, and he looked over there at the bench, and he shot that with a ton of confidence. And as he's backpedaling up the court, he's like, that ain't what you want.
John Walker, the freshman from Houston, gets the lay-in. He comes off the bench as the Aggies will go to Mekawulu, Walker, and Nebo in the front court off the bench. Here's Crandall for 3. And a foul on transition will be against Josh Perkins. Brandon Mahan was the ball handler.
Even though that probably was an accidental foul, I don't know. I know he has an extremely high basketball IQ. That was an excellent foul because you stopped the momentum, you stopped that transition bucket because they was about to hit the lanes and have numbers on you.
We're seeing Billy Kennedy go to his bench quite often and quite frequently. Given what Gonzaga brings in terms of firepower, do you like the strategy of constantly bringing in new players?
Yeah, you're going to keep a lot of fresh bodies out there because it's going to be a ton of energy exerted in this game. But also, you have to find out what works. You know, you got to try different ingredients and get a recipe for success, and they're trying to figure it out.
Petrosev had the block. Norvell misses the transition 3. Here comes Savion Flagg. J.J. Chandler, the take inside, and the foul against Gonzaga. Corey Kispert called for the personal. And so Chandler will go to the free throw line. Coming up this weekend, the Basketball Hall of Fame Tip-Off Classic. As Michigan, number 18 this season, will take on George Washington. And the bottom half of the bracket, South Carolina and then Providence. The final will be on Sunday. That's on ESPN. You can watch all those games on the ESPN app. Both Gonzaga and Texas A&M making various substitutions. Petrosev and Kispert take a seat. Kispert's got 2 fouls now, so Clark comes into the game. And now a small set with Norvell, Perkins, and Crandall, 3 guards out there for Gonzaga.
Well, Coach Few talked about that, prior to the game. He said that they wasn't go with a lot of small lineups. And point of emphasis when you go small is you're going to have to get bodies on the Aggies. You're going to have to box out as much as possible and be physical because you're giving up a lot of size and length.
And still have Clark and Hutchinson out there. Crandall, good head fake. Switches back to Perkins in the corner. Nine newcomers this season for the Aggies. That's one of them, John Walker, the freshman, who got his shot blocked. 13 on the shot clock for Texas A&M. As J.J. Chandler wants to reset. The Aggies picked to finish 12th out of 14 teams in the SEC after finishing 7th last year. 2 on the shot clock now. Collins nowhere to go. Great perimeter defense by the Zags.
We talked about how good they are offensively, but they do an excellent job of doing the defensive things on that end of the floor.
I'm always thankful in November. But with college basketball serving up Feast Week on November 15th, I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my. Tune in to Feast Week through November 25th.
You're watching Feast Week presented by Lowe's and Karan. We talked about the interior defense, the athleticism of the Zags, 5 blocks already.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job of just staying inside and keeping their hands up. Look, Rumi not even going for none of the ball movement or any of the moves that he just displayed right there. Just stayed down, used his length, and went up right at him.
It's a team who lost Jonathan Williams on the interior to the NBA. And what does Mark Few do? Well, he comes back with Brandon Clark, the transfer, and the freshman, Philip Petrusev, who they weren't quite sure what they were going to get out of, maybe a few minutes here or there. They expected him to play this season, but now with Killian Tilly out a couple of months, he's kind of been forced to play more minutes than expected, and he's been very impressive.
He really has, and the thing that's so impressive about the Zags, they can play half-court basketball, which they cut and play off each other extremely well, with an excellent block right there.
Mekawulu the block. Chandler can't finish on the other end. Clark saves it from going out of bounds. Crandall up ahead. It's a 2-on-2 developing for the Zags. Norvell with the left hand. Nothing doing there. Another disruption by Mekawulu. As the pace quickens here midway through the first half, Norvell comes back with the steal. Here we go, Karan. Hachimura underneath. That's a goaltend. Count the basket.
And that's what I was getting at. Look at the pace that they play with. Some teams can play one way, and their offense is usually their defense. But this team, you look at the Zags, look, pushing the ball up, Perkins recognizing who's up there. That's Rumi. You can throw it up anywhere. He's going to get it. And then look, Clark is cleaning it up for the easy tip in.
The pace has been good. The transition's been good, but the offense hasn't been good as A&M shooting just 29% from the floor. Zags not much better at 32%. It's a 4-point lead for Gonzaga, number 3 in the nation. First time they've played host to an SEC team in their program's history. 3 on the shot clock for TJ Starks. Did not go soon enough.
You know, usually when you're not playing good offensively, you have to make sure that the other team not playing good offensively also. And I think the Zags are doing an excellent job of not getting it going, but also not letting the Aggies get it going as well.
Norvell tried to force it inside the Hachimura. Perkins tracked it down, kept it alive for the Zags. Norvell, the lefty for 3. The Zags now 2 of 10 from 3-point range.
That's just knowing where your guy's at. Excellent pass by Perkins right there. Norvell just came a little short. Probably was too open. He usually make the tough ones.
Savion Flagg got open for that one. As Savion, number 84 on the ESPN 100 for the class of 2018. Hachimura gets inside. Another and one opportunity for Hachimura.
He's going to be big down there. He's showing the ball. He's doing more than just catching, shooting, and being isolated. He can now throw the ball to him, and he can do some things with it. He really understands he has a high level, a high skill set. And you talked about Coach Few saying that he's learning the game even more. He's being more receptive. It's amazing to watch.
Well, one thing Coach talked about was how his development of and command of the English language has improved since he came as a freshman, a native of Japan, who really didn't speak much English. English spent his freshman year mostly at ESL classes. He said for the most part, Rui Hachimura now understands about 90% of what Coach Few says, although he says Rui doesn't quite get my sarcasm that often. He made a comment in a practice when Hachimura was competing against Brandon Clark saying, you guys are in a pillow fight. And Hachimura went to an assistant coach and said, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
and Eric, you nailed it. look, he only knew 10% of what he knows now, which now Coach Few said he knows 90%, and it's still a strong percentage that he has to, you know, kind of intake. But that just goes to show you how talented this kid is. Just playing on talent last season and doing some amazing things.
Count that basket. That's a goaltend and a foul. Gino Crandall, a grad transfer from North Dakota, will go to the free throw line.
Getting out in transition, getting the Aggies on their heels, taking advantage of the situation. Definitely a goaltend on that possession.
Crandall, Karan, is no stranger to this building, even though he's here as a grad transfer from North Dakota. North Dakota played at Gonzaga last year and actually took the Zags to overtime. And in that game, Crandall had 28 points on 9 of 16 shooting, so he's very comfortable in this building.
Yeah, he looks like a gamer. You know, he's not afraid of the moment and got a nice stroke, stepping up defensively. And, you know, guys don't shy away from the moment. He got out in that open court and he made something out of nothing, which led to a goaltend, count for 2, and went to the stripe and got the easy one.
Good hands, Jonathan. Josh Perkins on defense, 8 on the shot clock. And a turnover on the Aggies. We're starting to see Texas A&M get frustrated on the offensive end.
That's just a clear case of guys that's not used to playing with one another. And you see Starks going back, communicating with the guys, specifically Nebo, telling him, look, go set the pick, come to the basketball. Don't assume that it's just going to come to you, because the Zags are excellent defensively on the perimeter.
You mentioned Josh Nebo. We really haven't said his name much. Coming off a game against Irvine where he had 15 points, 10 rebounds. He has yet to score a point here in this one. As Norvell was fouled driving into the lane. The Zags starting to pick up the pace and the consistency here at home. Texas A&M down by 5, but Karan, TJ Starks has kept them afloat.
Yeah, look at him. He's 50% from the field, being aggressive, going in there with the trees, showing his agility, his strength, speed, quickness. Look, the Lancaster alumni, he's putting on the clinic right now. I love what I'm seeing out of this young talent.
The Aggies as a team have made 7 field goals. Starks has made 4 of those. He also has 3 assists. 50% from the floor, as Karan mentioned. And so Starks, really the featured scorer so far. The concern, if you're Coach Billy Kennedy for the Aggies, is the Gonzaga offense has started to pick up, and the Aggies have started to turn the ball over. 4 turnovers in their last 8 possessions.
Well, I think that's just from, you know, not being familiar with one another. You see the ball in Stark's hand a ton because they know what they can get out of his player usage. He can make things happen, obviously, for himself, but he also can facilitate and make things happen for others. As you said, he already got a couple assists to go with his 8 points, so he has to stay aggressive, but you're going to need 1 or 2 other guys to step up in a major way by committee.
Biggest lead of the game for Gonzaga. Eric Rothman, Karan Butler here with you at McCarthy Athletic Center in Spokane, Washington. The number 3 team in the nation, Gonzaga's highest preseason ranking ever, taking on an SEC opponent. Mahan, the turnaround 3. It's been quite a while since we saw one of those for the Aggies.
That's what you need, somebody to free up some space, free up some real estate for a guy like Starks.
They'll also take a whistle in their favor as an offensive foul off the ball on Rui Hachimura.
You know, Rumi doing an excellent job of fighting for position, but you cannot extend your arms right there, and I think they caught him, you know, just trying to seal out a little bit too much. Excellent call by the ref.
Mekawulu, who is battling with both Clark and Hachimura down low, gets the and one there. He may not be a household name, but he's no slouch. He's a grad transfer from Tennessee State. He was the Ohio Valley Conference Defensive Player of the Year, and he's got some post moves too.
Yeah, he got some fight in him too. Look, taking the contact, finishing strong, and letting the crowd hear him roar a little bit. And they're giving it back at him right now, E.
They always do. 2-point advantage for the Zags. Norvell underneath, Mekawulu the block. Starks doesn't have numbers. Wisely pulls up. Good feed inside. Nebo. Oh, Corey Kispert. Get that out of here. Norvell on transition, the slam.
Are you kidding me?
Hachimura picks up the loose ball. He's got an outlet. It's Perkins for three.
This place would have erupted.
What a series. The Kispert block, the Norvell finish, and now the timeout on the floor taken by Texas A&M. It's electric here in Spokane. Zags up by 4. (28-24), Zags on top. ESPN's Feast Week presented by Lowe's. Karan, before the break, how about this sequence?
Just going up. Look, Kispert already had 2 fouls. That's a risky play, but I love his tenacity. Started the transition, and Norvell finished with authority, got this place rocking.
Here is TJ Starks, another bucket, this time an and one opportunity for TJ Starks, who is 5 of 9 from the floor. The rest of the team is 5 of 16.
He has game. Look at Starks, just out there, little hip-hop action, introducing the defender to hip-hop, taking the contact, finishing for the easy 2. I'm not going to say easy 2. I'm going to say that was a tough 2.
He made it look easy.
Yeah, he made it look easy.
When are you going to introduce me to hip-hop?
Next time we play a game of horse.
10 points for Starks, the leading scorer in this game. Petrosev down low for the Zags, out there with Clark in the front court. 2-man game on the far side. Here's Clark back to the basket with 10 to shoot. And Starks, the long rebound leading to the easy lay-in for the transition bucket. A tie ball game as Texas A&M has been led by TJ Starks, who has a dozen.
He did that. He finished that in transition with his right hand. Extremely impressive.
9-2 run for the Aggies. And while the fireworks have gone off for the Zags, Texas A&M has quietly kept themselves in this ball game. Crandall, no look pass. The kick ball will stay with the Zags. Hachimura and Perkins come back in.
You can't take teams light despite who they come in with. Sometimes you see rosters and you see them depleted and you don't come with your best effort. And I'm not saying that the Zags doing that, because they are competing, but the Aggies are really playing at a high level right now.
Perkins caught the Aggies sleeping on defense. These two teams, Garon, have met once before. It was back in 2015 at the Battle for Atlantis in the Bahamas. It was a 1-point win for Texas A&M. So the program itself has had a victory against Gonzaga as Mahan misses the 3.
And Coach Few don't remember that?
Sure he does. Perkins on the elbow. Hachimura, second, third opportunities. Won't go. Now A&M. Chance to tie or take the lead. Nebo, he's just had a really frustrating night. Barely touched the basketball, and when he has really been harassed.
Yeah, that's tough for him right there. He has to recognize where he's catching the ball at. I don't think he knew where he was at on the floor. He tried to make a move. Probably something that he just worked on all the time against dummy offense or cones or something. But when live bodies are there, you have to have court awareness so you can make efficient moves in the post.
Zags swinging around the perimeter, Flag jumping the pass. 15 on the shot clock.
Excellent read by Flag right there, breaking that that play up, because that was definitely an open look.
Four minutes to play here in the first half. A little leader for Perkins, gets the roll.
It's a really crafty move. He understood the timing of Rumi coming over to set the pick, and he had an isolation play on Collins and took full advantage of it.
Perkins now with 5 points. Good dish inside by the freshman Walker to Nebo. And a foul on the floor. Also a timeout on the floor. Zags clinging to a 4-point lead at home. Tip of your weekend with our star-studded NBA Friday doubleheader on ESPN. At 7 Eastern, Kawhi and the Raptors are in Boston to take on Kyrie and the Celtics. Then we'll take you to Milwaukee for Giannis and the Bucks hosting Zach LaVine and the Bulls. You can watch both of those live on the ESPN app, wherever you may be. And coming up at the half tonight, the E-Trade halftime report with Kevin Connors, Seth Freberg, and Robbie Hummel. Oh, I don't want to see that, Karan. UConn takes down Syracuse.
Huskies!
No, thank you.
Bleed blue.
It's a pass for me on the halftime show. It's a pass.
I'll take it over. I got it. Big ups to Coach Hurley and the crew, Talik Brown, Coach Moore, all those guys. Beating the orange, salute.
Yeah, big ups to our studio host, Kevin Connors, who welcomed a baby this week.
Oh, congratulations
to him.
Absolutely. What a blessing.
The Aggies, Karan, they're sticking around. They're out rebounding the Zags right now. And TJ Starks has gotten it done on the offensive end. And on the offensive end for Gonzaga, they've had some fireworks, but not a ton of consistency. They haven't made 2 consecutive field goals all game.
Well, you know, they got to continue to try to search for that rhythm. And you got to give the Aggies a ton of credit, and you got to give the Zags a ton of credit. They're doing an excellent job defensively, as you see Rumi going to the basket, getting that foul, but look at the recovery of the back line of the Aggies. You know, it's someone there, it's a wall, it's an anchor of defense in that paint, making it difficult for you to get the easy 2.
We've seen Hachimura a lot tonight, attacking the basket. He seems to be more comfortable with the dribble, seems to be more comfortable catching and making a move out of the high post. What do you like so far out of his game?
Well, you know, usually he was the recipient of just the passes and people creating for him and the tip-ins and things like that. Now, you can throw the ball to him and he can isolate you, operate like he's in the phone booth. For those who don't know what that is, that's Superman. That's what he used to change in. And he can do some things out of it. He has excellent footwork, and he's extremely athletic. And what I like is he's strong with the basketball. And if you're able to be strong with the basketball and put it on the floor for more than 2 dribbles, man, the future is bright for that kid.
9 points for Hachimura. Here's Starks. Good defense by Perkins to keep him in front. Perkins on the floor, couldn't track it down. Starks with 7 seconds to shoot. Hesitation midair, Petrosev the rebound. Under 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Perkins dumps it off Hachimura. Great patience underneath.
See, that's what I'm saying. He's not a recipient of just the pass. Last year, that would have probably just been a catch and shoot or a floater, a quick floater. But you see it right there. Pivot away from the defender. And no, I'm not going to use my right hand. I'm going to go to my left.
7-0 run for the Zags. Mayhem, wild shot, can't slow down the run. Mekawulu, no, got it back. Third opportunity for A&M on that possession.
I don't know what to call that. Was that a dunk layup or what was that?
It was a chuck.
That was a chuck?
It was a hammer toss.
That was a strong move, though. Excellent job.
Been impressed with Mekawulu. It's a tall task going up against Hachimura and Brandon Clark. He's performed well.
No fear.
Jeremy Jones, number 22, out there for the Zags. 6 on the shot clock. Perkins, guarded by Walker. Walker won the battle.
Walker did an excellent job staying down and using his length.
Brick 3 by Mayhem. A quick possession for the Aggies after the turnover. Now Norvell had all day to fire that 3.
lead right now for the Zags. And give a lot of credit to Norvell for just being aggressive and following through on that open look.
Mahan was swarmed by 3 Zags and fouled as he drove baseline.
Look at Norvell just stepping right into it, getting his feet set. Saw him miss one, but he's a kid with a ton of confidence. Chicago, Illinois, stay ready. I love his grit.
Norvell has 10 points. Hachimura has 11 to lead the Zags. As Mahan misses the free throw. A&M just 3 of 8 so far from the free throw line tonight. Make it 4 of 9. Chris Collins, the senior, for the Aggies, checks back in. Really, Collins and Gilder, really the only 2 returners to play significant time for this Aggies team. And as we mentioned, Admon Gilder is out indefinitely with some health issues. That was announced before this game started. Did not travel with the team. But Zach Norvell, back-to-back threes, and he is slowly but surely climbing up NBA draft boards.
Listen, I've seen this story before, and I know how this movie's in. He's doing an excellent job of just staying aggressive. He's a streaky guy. When he get going, it's tough to cool him off.
Starks tied up by Norvell. Zach gets called for the foul.
Look at this. I don't know if he was in a zone, but you saw Norvell doing exactly what shooters do. Running the baseline to baseline, going to the corner, hiding behind the defense, and creating an opportunity for himself. Excellent job by Norvell.
30-second timeout before the free throws. And before those back-to-back threes by Norvell, the Zags were just 2 of 13 from 3. So a big help from Norvell to extend this lead out to 10 points. It's the largest the Zags have had a lead in this game. And you talk about it, the streakiness of Norvell, but for Texas A&M, they haven't been able to guard him. A big reason why, they lost a ton of defense from last season. They lost Robert Williams, the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. They lost Tyler Davis, who's first-team All-SEC. DJ Hogg is gone. They were projected to finish 12th out of 14 teams, and the injury bug has bit them really hard here in this early season. Gilder's out, Wendell Mitchell is out. They're 1-1 so far. They have kept with Gonzaga up into these past couple of possessions, but with the injuries, with the losses of those 3 players, they don't have a ton of depth.
They really don't, and that's what you see with Coach Kennedy trying to figure out where do I go? Who can I rely upon? You know, you still have guys that have, I don't want to say significant injuries, but it's things that you don't really want to mess with. Hamstrings, knees, things like that. The amount of time might be 4 to 6 games, might end up being 8 games. So you got to rely on some of these other guys. You're going to see Flag. You're going to see Starks with the ball a ton. You see guys that's not accustomed to being out there, but you have to see what do they have and what can they offer in the heat of the moment.
Final 6 seconds here in the first half. Perkins to Hachimura. To let it fly. It counts for Rui Hachimura. And Hachimura and the Zags celebrate as they head to the locker room. A 10-point advantage after this move.
That's the difference between this year and last year. You're able to throw him the basketball, pivot game on point, get into his spot, knowing how to execute the offense, easy bucket, watch my drip.
10-point advantage for the Zags, halftime here in Spokane. And after the break, it's the E-Train halftime report with Kevin Connors, Seth Greenberg, and Robbie Hummel. Zags rolling so far at home. Week presented by Lowe's. Here in Spokane, the number 3 team in the nation, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, on top of Texas A&M. 43-33 as we're set to start the second half here at the McCarthy Athletic Center. And they always welcome us with open arms. Karan Butler, part of Zombie Nation before the game started, getting into the action. And then how about this, Karan? You know you've truly made it when the students take your head and explode it. The big head. Oh, how about that?
Mama made it! It's amazing.
This is what you get when you come to Spokane. We appreciate the love, and we welcome you back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. That's the real Karan. I'm the real Eric. Happy to be with you here. And Karan, we talked about the experience of Gonzaga and the fact that they're anchored by Rui Hachimura, who is one of the most impressive players in college basketball.
Look, we could have easily went with either of the guys, Zach Norvell or Rui Hachimura, but we decided to go with Rui because look at offensive display of what he's doing. Putting the ball on the floor, more than 2 dribbles, going into the contact of defenders, asserting himself in the paint, finishing for the strong 2 with the game on the line, recognizing the shot clock, going right to his spot. Hey, you got to recognize his drip, Eric.
I recognize the drip, Karan. I know drip when I see it.
Yeah.
Hachimura, 13 points. See, you said we could either do Hachimura or Norvell. We went with Norvell's picture and Hachimura's name. How do you like that?
Yeah,
that's the mix and match.
Yeah, I kind of screwed up the production crew on that.
Well, Hachimura had 13. Norvell also had 13. Norvell was 3 of 7 from 3. He's out there now with Kispert, Clark, Perkins, and Hachimura. It's Gonzaga basketball to start things off here in the second half. The Zags 2-0 on the season, coming off a win against Texas Southern. A&M is 1-1 after a loss to UC Irvine. Here is Chandler, left-hand dribble drive, and somehow uses the offhand to push off Clark and get that bucket to fall. Kispert the other way, immediately there for an and one.
Look, I'm so impressed by Kispert, and I'm going to tell you, he's the ultimate glue guy of, look, that tough offensive play right there. Could easily been a foul. But look at Kispert, just going, getting the contact, finishing in the paint, easy 2. Doing the things on the defensive end of the floor. Low maintenance guy, hard worker, fits right in like a glove.
6 points now for Corey Kispert, the sophomore. He battled with some injuries last year, actually missed a full year of high school with a foot injury. He looks healthy this year, in great shape. Ekawulu trying to extend his range. Ekawulu was impressive in that first half. The travel on Norvell. Ekawulu and Starks, really the inside out, the 2 of them pairing for most of the production for A&M in that first half, but really outside of that, the Aggies not getting anything.
Really not, and like we said, coach is really trying to find out, where his offense going to come from. And Billy Kennedy exercising the luxury of putting so many different guys in on the fly, trying to get them inserted to see what can he get out of who on the big stage.
Skip pass from Starks in the corner. Flag misses the 3. Perkins attacking, using the pivot. Clark, the offensive rebound and the put back for Brandon Clark.
Athleticism on full display right there by Clark. Then the second chance opportunity, and it's going up easy for the 2 in the paint.
Foul on the floor against Starks. He's been the aggressor for the Aggies, but coming into this game, Texas A&M has gotten 43 points per game from the combination of Nebo, Chandler, and Flag. Tonight, they've combined for 5 points. Those 3 have just been completely shut down.
Really has, and those some big athletic guys in that paint, but you got to give a ton of credit to the Zags for protecting the paint and using their athleticism. And like Coach Few said, they're going to go small at times, and they're doing an excellent job of being physical in that space and boxing them out and keeping them out of the paint for the most part.
Mahan tries another 3. His radar has been off from three all game. That one was an air ball. The crowd here in Spokane lets him know. Nakawulu missing the jump hook. Got his own rebound and a reset for the Aggies. Starks the drive. Tried to switch directions midair and ran into Brandon Clark. Out of bounds will stay with Texas A&M.
Heck of a move, just got stuck. Nope, beat the defender, but what happened? Kispert right there, going straight up. Had to adjust his move on that possession and just had nowhere to go with it, no outlets.
That's what's been impressive about that front court of the Zags. They just collapse all around you when you drive into the lane.
You may see daylight for a second. You might see a little blue. And what I mean by that is the paint. But it closed up rather quickly, as you can see on that possession right there.
Clark, another block. 7 blocks for the Zags and a whistle on the other end. Collins was trying to get inside. Brandon Clark on the defensive end. Collins drawing the charge on the other end. Chandler, baseline. Nowhere to go. Again, Kispert disrupting. Perkins caught midair and a whistle. That's no basket on Norvell's 3. Savion flag called for the personal.
This pace of this game is just amazing to watch. Both teams, not showing no give by any means. So you got to give a ton of credit to the Aggies. I think they're going to be better from this, with guys not being available, but still figuring out what they got. This is countless experience that they're getting right now.
J.J. Chandler takes a seat on the bench for the Aggies. Ball out of bounds. Stay with the Zags. Perkins was trying to curl around the screener. It was Hachimura. And a foul on Starks on the wraparound.
Yeah, he's a guy, the bulk of the offense obviously is coming from Starks. You do not want to get him in foul trouble. And I think Perkins is crafty enough to continue to try to, bait him to get little fouls, because once his offense is gone out the equation, it's going to be easy. Oh, my.
He continues to impress, Ron.
There, a runner with the left hand. He's in his bag today.
15-point lead for Gonzaga. Starks, the quick bucket on the other end. Starks now up to 14. Make it 16 for TJ Starks. Clark. The elevation for Brandon Clark. Just floating in the air.
So athletic and knowing himself. Picked up a charge on the last possession when he went to the paint, ran a guy over, jump stop on that possession, went straight up, no defender, easy 2.
Clark trying to flash the mid-range. Norvell, the offensive rebound, goes right back up with it. And one for Zach Norvell.
Look at that. The running left-hand shot of Hachimura. And then look at this. Clark just showing athleticism on full display.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Largest lead of the night for the Gonzaga Bulldogs, a 17-point advantage at home against Texas A&M. Ron, we talked about the success of this program under Mark Few, but look at where he stacks up all time. You're sandwiched between Adolph Rupp and John Wooden in terms of winning percentage. you deserve to be amongst the conversations, the greatest coaches of all time in college basketball.
Absolutely, and one of the things that jumped out at the screen at me is that in a conversation that we had prior to this game tonight, they don't want to be viewed as a mid-major. You know, they want to be viewed as a big-time university, and it shows with their culture that they created here. Look at these students. They have not sat down not one time since coming into this arena. The energy is electric. Coach Few continues to reload, never rebuilding, giving them something to cheer for.
I think you look at also the non-conference schedule that they play every year. Brandon Clark pokes it away.
Oh!
Elevation for Clark. "14-2 run for the Zags." Another steal, this time Norvell. And he's fouled. Go back to the point, Karan. You look at the non-conference schedule that Gonzaga plays every year. Clark, the steal, and the finish. This year, they play a stretch in the Maui Invitational. They're going to play Illinois. They're going to play either Arizona or Iowa State. They could meet Duke in the finals of that tournament. And then in December, they play a stretch where they go to Creighton. They play at home against Washington, neutral floor against Tennessee, on the road against North Carolina. They're not scared of anybody.
You know what you call that, Eric? We want all the smoke. And that's exactly what you see. Anybody out there, we're taking on all comers. We'll come to your house. You can come here. We can go to a neutral site if we have to. And that's a winning culture right there. And you get to see it in the preparation of what you see with these guys. You know, you got number 7 North Carolina coming up in December. I mean, that's going to be an amazing matchup along with so many others. But the camaraderie that's created is well beyond this basketball court, and that's why they all connected, and that's why you see them performing at a high level year after year.
Flag, the runner high off the glass, Savion Flag, who's had a very quiet evening. Quiets the crowd, at least for a moment here at the McCarthy Athletic Center. I have a feeling it won't last long.
It's picking up.
Kispert the drive, the finger roll for Corey Kispert.
I said, the ultimate glue guy, staying ready for his opportunities. Every time you make a mistake on him defensively, whether you miss a box out, close out too hard, close out too short, he's capable of doing all things. Look, hard close out, blow by, no back end defender. I'm going to make you pay for it.
Well, that play also was started by Josh Perkins. Made a great pass out of the double team. He's got 5 assists tonight, no turnovers. He's now over 500 assists in his career. And now on the season, 24 assists to 2 turnovers total for Perkins. And when you have a facilitator like that, there's a reason why you're up by 18, because you're getting easy buckets.
The whole entire team and the system that they thrive in is selfless. They do it by committee. That's why it's such a pleasure to watch.
Hachimura for 3. You bet.
Eric, we talked about that. As we was watching him shoot his free throws, we say that he's getting a lot of more lift and a lot more arc on his shot. And you saw him step clean into that. And we remember in shoot-around, that's the same shot he was practicing.
He's got numbers. Hachimura, 3-on-2, stripped and fouled.
Look at this, just excellent job penetrating, getting the defense to draw in, and he just sinks it. Not second-guessing himself whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, we're watching a star.
Credit Hachimura and credit the Gonzaga program, because he was a guy as a freshman, came in, played a little bit more than he was expecting to, a really raw talent, improved last season. Every year we see guys like that with his makeup, a ton of athleticism, a ton of raw talent, leave early for the NBA. And their game's not fully developed. They're not ready to make an impact at the next level. And that very easily could have been Hachimura. And you really couldn't begrudge somebody for doing that if they felt like they could get drafted in the first round. He decides to come back. They have a loaded team. He's going to get exposure on the national level every single week. and be in the conversation for National Player of the Year every single week. And if he continues to improve, that draft stock and sticking around for another year is going to be well worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to continue to rise. You know, he's on a lot of people's radar. He's been on their radar for some time now. I remember watching him first time I seen him in a shoot-around where they was playing out in Pepperdine. I was just like, wow, this kid is special. And he's just raw then, but now you see he's put the work in, and it's really paying off.
Thought about another three. Pick and roll. Wanted the alley-oop from Crandall. And a loose ball foul. Oh, it's actually going to be somebody lost a shoe. Isaiah J.C. lost his shoe. Hachimura is from Japan. Killian Tilly, Joel Ayayi is from France. Philip Petrosev, Serbian. As I mentioned, Rui Hachimura from Japan. The international flavor here at Gonzaga. Killian Tilly, although he's not playing, his parents are in town from France, taking in tonight's game. And I know Tilly is very, very disappointed to be sitting out, but I'm sure he's happy that he'll be ready for conference play as the Zags look for their 7th straight conference championship.
Yeah, you know, look, this season, it's a marathon of a season. You don't want to rush it. It's not a sprint. And I think he's doing it the smart way. There's no reason to rush back. Get ready for conference play so you can go out there and really be an asset to your team, because they're definitely going to need you during that stretch.
Savion Flagg has scored the last 3 times he's put up a shot. 62-45. Gonzaga on top. Eric Rothman, Karan Butler with you here in Spokane. 12-10 to play here in regulation. The first time an SEC team has ever come and played in Spokane.
I guarantee you it won't be the last.
I don't know, it might be. It's a home and home, so Gonzaga will go to Texas A&M next year.
That's what I was
Take a look real quick, Karan, at the Basketball Hall of Fame tip-off tournament. Number 18, Michigan against George Washington, South Carolina, and Providence. That final will be on Sunday, 1:30 Eastern on ESPN. You can always watch it on the ESPN app.
Do you play basketball 21?
You know what's a must-watch for me? This shifting gears for a minute to the NBA, like that Raptors and that Bucks game. Wow. Talk about the way the Bucks are playing right now. That's going to be an amazing game to watch. Freak playing at a high level.
He's got to be the MVP of the season, right? So far?
Yeah, you know, first half of the season MVP.
Floater from Flagg not there. Hachimura the rebound. I mentioned the Raptors and Kawhi Leonard. That's Rui Hachimura's favorite player. And you see a little bit of Leonard's game in Rui. And if that's the guy you're going to aspire to be like, not a bad idol to have. Brandon Clark, the athleticism on the steal and the finish. 64-45, Zags on top.
Pat Mahomes is going to light this league on fire.
Touchdown, Allen!
They can score on just about anybody.
The Rams are making a primetime statement.
Showtime! What a matchup in Monday Night Football.
Oh, how about that, Karan? Rams, Chiefs, Mahomes, Gurley. This might be the score of that football game, 64-45.
That's going to be something to watch. You know, as a fan, a cheesehead, grew up in Wisconsin, I'm going to be tuned into that game right there. Moved from Mexico, going to be in Los Angeles, definitely a must-watch.
Flagg, a floater. He's caught fire here in the second half. Flagg up to 11 points. 9 of those here in the second half. Hachimura, no look, Crandall. The circus shot falls short, but a foul comes in late.
Listen, now Crandall did an excellent job of understanding that Rui is going to draw so much attention. And now with his game being elevated to the next level now, because he can isolate guys and score without just being a pick and roll guy or receiver, you can throw the ball to him and he can go get you a bucket, or you can see exactly what he did right there. Find the open guy, facilitate. Excellent job by him just cutting, getting the opportunity. Man, he got so many features to his game now, man. Rui. Jeez.
No-look pass out of the post to Crandall, the grad transfer from North Dakota, was second team All-Big Sky, led that team in points per game at 17. And Crandall called for the foul on the outside. He's not happy about it.
Eric, I can't say it enough. These fans remind me all about that college feeling, man. This is amazing. This is
your first trip here.
It's my first time
in
here.
the kennel.
And I'm going to tell you what, it's not my last. This is amazing.
Three won't fall for Kispert. It is one of the best atmospheres in college basketball, without a doubt.
Hands down.
And we get a great seat because we're right in front of the student section. And occasionally you get some soft drinks or nacho cheese spilled on you in the position we're at. But by and large, a very respectful and welcoming crowd.
Look, they're still standing. Like, look at these fans. Hey, y'all show me some love back tonight, because I'm giving y'all all the love and y'all deserve it.
Well, not only are they standing all game, but they've been camping out in the cold weather all night just to get into the building. And also, how about the Hall of Famer, John Stockton, in attendance?
Oh, wow. One of my favorite players of all time right there, John Stockton. And you see his number up there. Played here between 1980 and 84. Olympian. Just a true winner. I remember being a rookie in 2002 with the Miami Heat and just playing against him. And I didn't realize how serious this game was on this level, a battle of inches. And I'll never forget when he laid one into me so hard, just the hardest screen I ever received. I had to turn around and I said, who hit me? And it was John Stockton, the littlest guy on the court. I had the biggest heart, man. It's amazing. Salute. Hall of Famer, legend, special guy.
Eric Rothman, Karan Butler here with you midway through the second half in Spokane, Washington, 66-48. The Zags on top, looking to stay perfect on this early season. Good press break for the Zags. Crandall, the cutter. Oh, went for the jackpot and was denied. I didn't know Crandall had ups like that.
I think it's that spot in the floor that they're jumping on.
Springboard?
They got a springboard in that floor. I'm going to try it in a minute. Look at this, the cut. Go gadget hops.
Isaiah JC underneath got the block. Give him at least an 8.5 on the attempt alone.
Definitely. Took off, bro. Stretched out.
I mentioned for the Zags, they're off tomorrow to Maui for the Maui Invitational. They'll play Illinois in the opening round of that tournament. J.J. Chandler hits the three. And then Texas A&M, we're actually following them up north to Vancouver for the Vancouver Showcase. We'll have those games for you on the ESPN family of networks. They'll play Minnesota and then Washington as Crandall, the baseline drive.
Eric, I know they love what they're hearing. Make sure y'all follow this show on the road as we go to Vancouver. That's going to be a special tournament right there. I look forward to that.
It'll be my first time in that city. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm still trying to figure out, why did the NBA leave Vancouver? That's an amazing city.
They didn't have Karan Butler. That was a problem.
Say that again.
Crandall, the finger roll. And then Crandall the steal on the inbound. Norvell for three. Starks pushing. Rejected by Clark, somehow saves it, keeps it alive. Kispert, 2-on-1, feeds Petrusev, and he's fouled. And Petrusev goes down hard into the camera crew underneath the hoop, and he is shaken up.
Clark chasing him down, two-hand block. Kispert doing an excellent job of handing it off. You don't want to see a guy go down like that. You have to elect to just to foul someone when they're in a tough situation like that. Momentum going that way. You don't want to go into the back and they fall awkwardly. Just grab them. Play safe basketball.
Reviewing the play, J.J. Chandler fouling Petrusev hard. We saw Clark's block. That's his third of the game. And I'm excited. You look at the Gonzaga schedule. We talked about that gauntlet of a stretch that they have at the beginning of December where they play Creighton, Washington, Tennessee, and UNC. That Washington game, I'm going to circle that one because they've got a guy named Matisse Thybulle, and he's a shot blocker. And then you've got Brandon Clark, who's a shot blocker. And that could be a showdown of maybe the two best shot blockers on the West Coast.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of shot blocking in that game, a great defensive presence. But most importantly, you have to see collectively the effort on the offensive end of the floor. You're going to have teams that are going to have that presence, but the thing about the Zags is that they have so many different ways they can attack you. We touched on it a lot with Rui. Now you can feature him when you're not moving the ball and shifting it, having that ball pop around like popcorn. You can play with pace. I mean, the first couple games of the season, they average over 109 points a game. So they can give it to you in so many different ways. It's amazing.
Well, and then to speak to that point, they're up by 19 right now in a game where they've gotten 5 points from Josh Perkins. Not to say Perkins has had a bad game. He spent the game facilitating for the most part. He's 2 of 8 from the floor. But that's the depth of Gonzaga, where if one guy has an off night or decides that scoring isn't the number one option, that's okay. You've got Clark with 10, Hachimura 18, Norvell 16, Kispert 8, round robin.
Yeah, you know what? And that's an excellent point you made, Eric. And I would say this. Perkins knows how to play the game of basketball. You know how many times that you play on a national televised game like this and guys would elect to try to impose their will on the game that they don't have to and disturb the rhythm of the entire team trying to make sure that they have a rhythm? Perkins is an excellent display of what he's doing. Making sure the ball continue to move around, find guys in the flow, and just playing the right way. That's winning basketball, that's winning culture, and I love it.
It's a flagrant 1 foul on J.J. Chandler. So Petrusev at the free throw line. They deemed the flagrant 1 after Chandler hit Petrusev on the head. Both free throws good. We mentioned that Maui Invitational field that could very well lead to a matchup in the championship between Duke and Gonzaga. But look at all the teams participating in this tournament. Arizona, Auburn, Zags, Illinois, Iowa State, San Diego State, sleeper team out west so far this season, and Xavier's always tough.
Listen, all I gotta tell you, if you haven't seen Zion Williamson from Duke, oh my, that kid is special. Everybody thought that he wasn't gonna have a hard time, you know, with his speed and agility and adjusting and all that. This kid is amazing. So explosive, so quick, and he's only gonna get better. No ceilings on his potential.
The roof is the ceiling for Zion Williamson.
And he probably jumped through that.
10 points for Gino Crandall. It's a 9-0 run for Gonzaga. I continue to be impressed by the rim protection of Brandon Clark. He is just in the way of every A&M player who dares step foot in the lane.
You know how important it is to have a guy that's selfless like that? And look, he's probably going to get rewarded by running the floor.
Perkins angling, beats it. Good decision by Perkins.
Perkins was able to keep his dribble, but the reason why that happened is because Clark ran the floor so hard, and he took guys with him, cleared open that lane for Perkins to get in there and score the easy two. That's good basketball.
Akawulu stripped. Hachimura ties him up. Possession arrow is in favor of Texas A&M. You are seeing why the Zags are ranked number 3 in the nation. The action doesn't stop when we go to commercial break here in Spokane. It's a me, Mario, with the half-court shot. Looking like he just came off the set of Let's Make a Deal. And the eruption.
Oh! Take that, Luigi!
Congratulations to that student right there. 77-51. The Zags on top. Rob Butler getting into the atmosphere here at the Kennel.
Ain't nothing like it.
Eric Rothman with him. So we've seen quite a bit of zone from the Zags here in the second half. Good rebound by Hachimura, who's not going to quit, even though his team is up 26. Clark, oh, soft hands, stops on a dime. Brandon Clark, the lay-in.
Look at the pass, just running right to the front of the rim. And Crandall doing an excellent job of rewarding the big man. Seeing how hard he's working on the defensive end of the floor, running the lanes. Look, you get rewarded for all that hard work.
Akawulu fouled on the rebound off the Mahan miss.
Look at Rui just went up high for that rebound. Look at Crandall kicking it up. You know Clark the only one that can go that high and get it. Finishes for the easy two, right over the top.
I think your boy Aaron Rodgers might need Brandon Clark to suit up.
Say that again.
Wide receiver, the tight end.
Oh, we're struggling.
I'm sorry, I don't feel too sorry for you. The UConn's win today, I don't feel too sorry for you.
I still believe. You know what make me feel good, Eric?
What's that?
If Aaron Rodgers just come out in the press conference post-game and just say, just relax. I know 4 wins coming.
Oh no, getting too late in the season for that.
It's never too late when you got Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, the lob. Clark, not one to show off, just lays it in. Another assist to Josh Perkins, that's number 6. Just 1 turnover for him tonight as Norvell trying to pump up the crowd on defense.
Jump higher than everybody else.
The intensity of this 2-3 zone, not making it easy, although they let Savion Flag slip behind on that offensive rebound. But despite being up 81-54, the Zags not done scrapping on the offensive end. Perkins, the facilitator, and Clark, the finisher. He's got 14. Saturday, we've got 2 important Week 12 games for you on ABC. In the Big 12 at 3:30 Eastern, Will Greer leads number 9 West Virginia against Oklahoma State. That's in Stillwater. Then at 8 Eastern, number 24 Cincinnati taking on number 11 UCF, who's won 22 in a row. It's an AAC battle on ABC. You can also watch it live on the ESPN app, wherever you are. College football playoffs starting to shape up. Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan. But Karan, I want to give you the scoop on something. Notre Dame is going to lose this weekend to a team from upstate New York called Syracuse.
Oh,
number
come on,
12 in the nation.
That's the same
Dino
thing you say about
Babers.
basketball. Jeez. Stop. Hey, you got to stop thinking with your heart all the time, bro.
It's the only way to do it. Norvell slides inside. Norvell's got 18. I believe. I think that game's at Yankee Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. Crandall, the steal. Perkins slowed up by Flag. Crandall showing off a bit and got fouled. And a technical foul on J.J. Chandler, who immediately went to the bench after the personal and then swatted the ball away from the referee and charged with the technical foul. So he swatted it away from Perkins.
It's a little frustration just setting in.
It's going to take my ball and go home.
Yeah, man.
So 5 personals on J.J. Chandler. So he is done. And the technical foul assessed will be Norvell at the free throw line.
No, I've been in those situations numerous times where you can't let your emotion get the best of you. And, you know, although I love his competitive edge and drive, you know, you got to channel those emotions and keep them intact.
Norvell now sits at 19 points, and it's a 30-point lead for the Zags. Crandall will shoot the free throws on the personal foul that was assessed prior to the technical. The one thing we talked about, the explosiveness, the athleticism, as you see some bench players now getting in for the Zags. Greg Foster Jr. comes in. One thing that's impressive when you look at Crandall and you look at Perkins in the backcourt is the game management and making good decisions. And they've been around long enough to where they've seen it all. They know what to expect, especially for Perkins, has been in big-time games. And Crandall had experience leading a team in North Dakota. And when you can rely on guards who have senior leadership down the stretch, that's what makes a national championship contender.
That's exactly what makes it. And, you know, you're not going to rush those guys. As uncomfortable you want to make them on the basketball court, what you touched on there, they're so seasoned and polished, you know, not just from a game standpoint, but most importantly, mentally. They can handle just about anything. And you saw that on display tonight. Didn't get rattled. Game was kind of close early. Shots wasn't falling. They just stuck to the script.
Hachimura takes a seat with his 18 points. Petrusev and Foster, the 2 freshmen, are out there. Foster, the freshman from Las Vegas. Father, a former NBAer and coach. Norvell for 3. The southpaw hits another one.
Chicago's finest right there.
Went to Simeon Career Academy, same place as Derrick Rose, Jabari Parker. Now has 22 points here in this one, which will bring up his season average, which is at 16 coming into the game. 3 on the shot clock for the Aggies. And they will inbound with that same time allotted to them. Standing ovation for Clark and Norvell as they take a seat. Kispert and Jones come in.
Hell, man, this play is hard and the right way. Even with the game, you know, up 18, 20-plus points. Diving on the floor, doing all those things still.
Clark finishes with 14 points, 11 rebounds. Norvell, 22 points. Went 7 of 14 shooting and 4 of 9 from 3. Petrusev was calling for it. Nebo the block. And a loose ball foul. Will be on Texas A&M, Brendan Mahan. For Texas A&M, Karan, and we talked about the injuries to Gilder, to Mitchell. This was a team coming into the season for Coach Kennedy. He was expecting to play a lot of four-guard, small ball sets, play really fast, be backcourt dominant. But because of the injuries, he's now been forced to be more front court focused, to almost switch his strategy on the fly as the season started without those two players. He's had to rely more on Christian Mekawulu, John Walker, Josh Nebo underneath, and those guys, for as good as they are, they weren't necessarily brought in to carry the load. That wasn't what Coach Kennedy had expected coming into the season, so you expect a little bit of rockiness trying to make that transition.
Yes, but it's going to help them out in the long run. It really has. It really will. And the Aggies has to, really just stick with it and believe and stay confident. And it's going to be a lot of trial and error. It's going to be a lot of different groups out there, probably not knowing who's going to finish the games. And collectively, they got to do it by committee, night in and night out.
Crandall was fouled in the corner. If that was a three-point field goal attempt, he'll be at the free throw line for three. Clark Hachimura, the Stars, as well as Norvell for the Zags.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in today for huge Black Friday savings.
No place these students in Spokane would rather be than watching their Zags put the wallop on the Aggies, up 90-58. It's Feast Week presented by Lowe's. Eric Rothman, Karan Butler, in front of a great crowd at the McCarthy Athletic Center. They call it the Kennel. Gino Crandall has been welcomed into the Kennel with open arms, the grad transfer from North Dakota, who put 28 on the Zags playing against them in this building last season. Averaged 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists with North Dakota last year. Native of Minnesota, making his mark and bringing his experience this season. Joel Ayayi, the redshirt freshman from France, is on the floor coming in out of the timeout. So a trio of freshmen out there. Ayayi, Foster, and Petrusev. That's Walker for the A&M. Michigan, it's not good enough that they're top 4 in football this year, but number 18 in the country, and maybe sneakily much better than that.
Michigan back.
That's right.
See Jalen Rose and Chris Webber and all those guys talking about the Wolverines again, football and basketball. Wow, it's amazing. I feel like UConn's back too. I'm just gonna put that out there.
It's really disappointing to hear.
We just smacked somebody today.
Fake news. I refuse to believe it.
Oh man, I'm gonna send you highlights through your email, man. It's all day.
I'll report as spam. That's what I'll do. Immediately to trash. I don't want to see any of that. 3 minutes to go here in regulation. You're going to take one thing away from your first experience here in Gonzaga, watching the new version of this team as Flag hits the three, and where they're positioned nationally. What do you take away in your views on the Zags?
I love what they do from an offensive standpoint and defensive standpoint. They're a two-way team. You know how we talk about in the NBA and even in college basketball, he's a two-way guy. This guy is special because he's a two-way guy. But look, this is a two-way team. But I'm going to take away this experience right here. Look, I'm feeling it. What was I listening to? Watch my drip. Watch my drip. I'm in my bag right there.
I don't think I've ever seen you happier.
I'm enjoying the experience. I'm in Spokane. I'm coming back. These fans loving me out here. Hey, look, we're going to have, man, this the Karan and Eric section from here on out.
Okay. I don't think we've donated enough to the university to get it named after us. Quite yet.
It's all about energy. We bring the right energy.
Right, that's right. That's good. That's good enough for a naming.
That should count as some type of endowment.
Good defense by Jones. Walker corrals it inside, and a big slam by Isaiah Jacey, a sophomore from Killeen, Texas.
Man, he's springy too.
Walker the steal after Ayayi lost it. French tried the English off the glass. Walker the putback, and the reserves for A&M trying to make the most of their minutes.
You know what? You're still auditioning, and you know Coach Kennedy is looking and trying to find out who's going to be out there, who's going to compete at a high level. And this is an audition now for these young guys to get in and get some time, get 3-4 minutes to play at a high level.
Jones on the floor to tie up. Possession arrow in favor of Gonzaga. Jones, another senior, the transfer from Rice, who's played sparingly over the past couple of years, but always a hustler and a grinder. Randall will take a seat. Jack Beach is out there now, the redshirt junior for the Zags. They are off to Maui tomorrow. Maui Invitational. They'll take on Illinois. The winner of Arizona, Iowa State, if they were to get past Illinois. Petrosev, little jump hook in the lane. And then it could all be leading to a showdown in the championship game with Duke. And it will be appointment viewing, if that is the case.
Must watch television.
I think you and I might have to find a TV in Vancouver to watch that game.
Say that again.
1 minute to play. Another rout for the Zags, who will move to 3-0 on the season. Texas A&M will fall to 1-2 overall. As the Zags maybe showing you why an SEC team has never come up here to play a basketball game. We mentioned the Maui Invitational with Duke and Gonzaga. Battle for Atlantis featuring Virginia. The NIT season tip-off with Kansas. Plenty of early season tournaments. A part of the Feast Week on ESPN. And we mentioned Karan and I will be up in Vancouver for the Vancouver Showcase. Texas A&M will be there, as well as Washington, Santa Clara, and Minnesota. Get your passport ready.
I don't know what the Aggies is going to do going forward, but I definitely feel like John Walker and earned himself some quality time going forward, showing that he's not afraid on this stage. Hustle plays, offensively, being confident in his game. Be interesting to see.
Final 5 seconds as they celebrate in Spokane. It's another victory for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Your final 94-71 as Coach Kennedy and Few shake hands. Win number 538 in the career of Mark Few as his Gonzaga Bulldogs march on. So the Zags, 94-71, and how much they're going to be able to rely on Hachimura and Clark going forward.
All right, they showed and they've proven that they're reliable. And not only are they reliable as constant players on the offensive end of the floor, but defensively also. And it's amazing to see that. A lot of growth by Rumi. It's amazing to see his game.
A lot of fun, partner. Oh, I don't know if that's going to fit on my carry-on. We appreciate the love here in Spokane. For our entire crew, for Karan Butler, I'm Eric Rothman saying so long and thanks for watching another fantastic performance by the number 3 team in the nation. Gonzaga rolls over Texas A&M 94-71 and move to 3-0 on the season as they are off to the Maui Invitational. Stay tuned, more Feast Week all week long.